Hey everyone, here's a quick recap of the film Blind Mountain. Hope you enjoy it. It's the early 1990s in northern China. Bai Xiaomei has just graduated from college and is traveling around the country hoping to land a good job. Her parents invested a lot in her education, so she feels the pressure to make it all worthwhile. She crosses paths with a man named Mr. Hu who works for a pharmaceutical company. He offers Xiaomei and another girl a job collecting medicinal herbs in a remote mountain village. They hop into a beat-up old vehicle and Mr. Hu drives them deep into the countryside, far from any signs of modern life. When they finally arrive, the entire village is waiting for them. Xiaomei drinks a glass of water, then suddenly passes out. When she wakes up, Mr. Hu and the other girl are gone. So are her bags, her money, and even her passport. A local woman tells Xiaomei that her family sold her and she now belongs to her son. Xiaomei tries to explain that these people aren't her family, but the villagers just respond, "We already paid for you. You're going to marry my son." The villagers drag Xiaomei into a house against her will. That night, a mustached man, apparently her new fiancé, shows up in the bedroom. By morning, she's been tied up and gagged with a wooden rod. Local children stare at her curiously through the window, while outside, the whole village is throwing a wedding celebration she's not even part of. That night, the man, Wang Deigi, doesn't touch her, but the next day, village men start teasing him at the store. "So, how is she in bed? Are her boobs big?" They laugh. Deigi brings Xiaomei some food. She begs him to let her go. He tells her he would if she can pay back the 7,000 yuan he spent on her right now. The fact that buying wives is illegal doesn't seem to bother him. "Everyone does it," he says. "It just costs more in the city." His friends tell him the best way to make sure she doesn't run off is to get her pregnant. His father demands the same thing. Deigui, desperate and drunk, finally works up the nerve to return home. He tries to force himself on Xiaomei, but when she fights back, he panics and runs off. Moments later, his parents storm into the house and physically overpower Xiaomei so their son can assault her. After it's done, Deigui casually steps outside to have a drink and smoke with his father. The next day, he's all smiles. The villagers congratulate him like he's accomplished something great. Everyone except the village teacher. Xiaomei's mother-in-law tries to comfort her. "I was sold too," she says. "Once you have a baby, things will settle down." She reminds Xiaomei how much money was spent on her, and now it's time to earn her keep. When Xiaomei tells her off, Deigi retaliates with punches. Xiaomei manages to fight him off and makes a run for it, but a mob quickly chases her down. She begs the village elder for help, but he sides with the family. If she's trying to run away, he says, she must be trying to rob them. She has no ID, no passport. Why would anyone believe her? After that, they chain her up. Deigui, in a twisted show of kindness, brings her new clothes and promises not to use the chains, as long as she doesn't try to run again. Just then, a tax inspector from the city shows up, demanding payment for the pig tax. Xiaomei holds onto a shred of hope that someone, anyone, will help her, but the city officials side with the locals. "It's a family matter," they say. Not our concern." One of them even offers Deigi advice. "You're lucky. Just keep your wife under control." Xiaomei hits a breaking point. She finds a knife nearby and tries to end it all. She loses a lot of blood and is rushed to the nearest hospital, but no one there is in a hurry to help. A doctor barely looks up from snacking on sunflower seeds. No one gets treatment until the bills are paid. After some minimal care, Xiaomei is patched up and dragged right back to her prison. Later, other young women, also forced into marriages, are brought to see her holding babies on their hips. They tell Xiaomei to stop fighting. "It'll only get worse if you don't give in." One of them, Chen, has been trapped in the village for 4 years. She says everyone dreams of escaping, no one gets through. Chen tells Xiaomei to play along, to act broken so the family will let their guard down. Taking her advice, Xiaomei cuts her hair short and starts cooperating. She even gives in to Deigui every night, never resisting. The family gives her a bright red outfit, so if she tries to run again, they can spot her from miles away. Teacher De Chen, who happens to be Deigui's cousin, was the one who paid for Xiaomei's hospital visit. Now he stops by to bring her a few books, something to help her stay sane. But Deigi isn't having it. "You spend all day with these stupid books," he snaps. "Go feed the pigs!" He threatens to beat her to death if anything happens to them. While doing laundry one day, Chen discreetly tells Xiaomei which path to take if she ever tries to escape again. The most important thing? Stay off the main road. Xiaomei forms a bond with a young local boy named Li Xingshan. But over time, it becomes painfully clear that everyone in the village knows what's happening and no one cares. Deigui forces Xiaomei to haul heavy bags and threatens to scar her face if she dares to run again. Chen begs her, if she ever makes it out, please contact her family. Xiaomei decides she won't wait. She's going now. As she makes her break, she runs into another captive woman. Her legs were shattered for trying to escape. Horrified, Xiaomei bolts into the autumn forest. Behind her, the village men are in hot pursuit. The villagers figure they'll catch her easier near the city. Xiaomei, exhausted and desperate, hopes to hitch a ride. She flags down a car, but the driver refuses to take her. She doesn't even have 3 yuan for the fare. Moments later, the villagers catch up. They drag her back and throw her into a vehicle. When they arrive, the entire village is waiting. In front of everyone, Daegi beats her until she blacks out. Once more, Xiaomei is locked away. Her only visitor is young Qingshan, who sneaks in from time to time. Teacher Dai Chen also comes to see her. He confesses he once tried to leave the village too, but he failed his university entrance exams and ended up stuck. Xiaomei pleads with him to help her escape. He doesn't say no, but he doesn't say yes either. Then, one day, she runs into the village postman. She begs him to mail a letter. Daegi spots them, but surprisingly doesn't interfere. Autumn fades into winter. Xiaomei is now wearing a red winter coat, yet another bright marker in case she runs again. Her mother-in-law follows her everywhere, like a shadow. The village women start asking questions. What chores does your daughter-in-law even do? Why hasn't she put on weight? It's clear. They expect her to be pregnant by now. Xiaomei asks for money, but she hasn't touched a single coin since she arrived. Everything she uses is bought for her by Daegi's family. She warned Xiaomei that going to the police would be useless. They just brush it off as a family matter. At this point, Chen had given up on running away. She had 2 kids now. Who would want her anymore? Still, Chen brought her more books. He gently took her hands and promised he'd help her escape. That day, some top officials were visiting the village. The village head made everyone tidy up. Everything had to look perfect. Anyone who embarrassed the village would face serious consequences. To keep things under control, the young wives were hidden in the forest. Once the inspection was over, they were brought back. Xiaomei managed to pass along another letter. Chen asked his brother to let his wife help out at the school, saying she was educated and could fill in for the teacher who had gone to the city. But really, it was just an excuse. School was the only place where they could speak freely. Chen repeated his promise to help her escape. That night, they slept together. Now, the teacher came on to Xiaomei whenever he could, but he still wasn't in a rush to leave. The village threw a celebration, and everyone gathered in the square. Chen used the distraction to sneak Xiaomei away to the school again. Xiaomei's mother-in-law eventually noticed she was missing and went to look for her. Tired of waiting, she left. Meanwhile, Chen was still telling Xiaomei he was saving up, that they just needed a little more time. Then Degui stormed into the school and attacked them in a rage. Shamed and defeated, Chen left the village. Alone, Xiaomei was left behind, heartbroken. In despair, she burned all the books he had ever given her. She was sent on an errand to a shop, where she begged the clerk to lend her 50 yuan. Of course, she had no way to pay it back, so she paid another way. With the money in hand, Xiaomei ran again the next morning. Degui and the men jumped on a cart and chased after her. Exhausted, Xiaomei veered off the road and stumbled down to a stream. After a while, she got back up and found the road again. She flagged down a car and paid the driver to take her to the city. She immediately asked where the bus station was and headed there. She boarded the first bus heading to a larger city. But before it could leave, the village men had blocked the road. Xiaomei begged the driver not to open the door, but he did. Degui dragged her off the bus. It's his wife. Just a family matter. The other passengers muttered. No matter how much Xiaomei screamed and fought, nobody lifted a finger to help. The men told the police officer that Xiaomei wasn't right in the head. Take her to a hospital if you need to, the officer said. Just don't cause a scene on the road. Xiaomei kept writing letters, still clinging to hope that one day someone might write her back. Then her mother-in-law noticed something. Xiaomei hadn't had her period in 2 months. Maybe she was finally pregnant? Xiaomei panicked. She broke down and started hitting herself in the stomach. The mother-in-law dropped to her knees, begging her not to hurt the baby. Hit me instead, she cried. Meanwhile, young Li Qingshan was hauling a huge bundle of firewood on his back when he should have been in school. But his family couldn't afford to send him to a city school. Xiaomei promised to teach him for free. Soon, she began teaching other village kids too. Ever since the teacher left, the children had been left with no one to educate them. Days passed, her belly began to show. Then one night, a newborn baby was found drowned in the village. People gasped. Was it a girl? Of course it was. No one would throw away a baby boy. Through it all, Xiaomei kept hoping the postman would one day bring her a letter. When she was home alone, the labor pains started. She gave birth through the night. In the end, the family rejoiced. Xiaomei had delivered a baby boy. Naive as ever, Xiaomei ran to the postman again, hoping for a letter. What she didn't know was that Degui had been paying a man to intercept all her mail. But this time, young Li Qingshan saw it happen and told Xiaomei the truth. Don't be sad, he said. I can send your letter for you. Degui treated his wife like a slave. Xiaomei was exhausted, beaten, humiliated, and endlessly trapped. But hope flickered again. Later, after class, Li Chenxing told her he'd mailed her letter from the city. With a small lie, Xiaomei told her mother-in-law she was going to visit a friend and taking her son with her. But the woman snatched the baby away. Now the child was a hostage, and without him, escaping the village would be nearly impossible. Then, one day, the police from the big city showed up. Her father had gotten the letter. He came to save Xiaomei. As he led her to the car, her mother-in-law clung to the baby, shouting that the child belonged to their family. The police agreed. The baby legally belonged to the husband's side. Her father begged her to go now, promising they'd come back for the baby later. Xiaomei was quickly ushered into the car. But just as they started to leave, the village men gave chase. A whole crowd stormed down the road and surrounded the vehicle. Degui fought his way through the crowd trying to get to Xiaomei. "Human trafficking is illegal," one of the officers shouted. "Illegal?" Degui sneered. "You'll have to shoot me if you want to stop me." He demanded that someone pay him back the 7,000 yuan he spent, and forced his own mother to lie down in front of the car to block its path. The police caved to the pressure and returned to the village, saying they'd sort things out with the village committee. But once they got there, the crowd turned on them again. Somehow the officers managed to escape into the village elder's house. They were trapped and had no idea how to get out. One officer quietly suggested they finish the job and free all the trafficked women, but another hesitated. "Almost everyone here is like this," he said. "You really think we can fix it?" "I want to leave," Xiaomei said bitterly. "These people aren't human. I can't live among them." The officer asked her to stay just a little longer. Then, in desperation, both he and her father dropped to their knees. Her father had spent everything he had to get here. He wouldn't be able to come back again to rescue her. Heartbroken, the father decided to stay in the village with his daughter. The police promised they'd return in 3 days. But to calm the villagers, they announced that Xiaomei would remain in the village. Degui took her home and immediately beat her. Her father stepped in to protect her, but Degui knocked him down and began beating him as well. That was the moment Xiaomei snapped. Consumed by a surge of rage and desperation, she grabbed a hatchet and struck Degui. She killed him. In that moment, there was no other way out. That's the story. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future stories.